the area we want to look at is sex before marriage. Is it a no or a yes?
Sex before marriage does not define who you are.
Okay, so you're saying sex before marriage is completely allowed. It's okay, we should just go ahead and knock ourselves out.
Obviously, have fun. Don't go and have fun, shall you having sex before marriage, there's nothing bad with it, because the mindset that people have created is that virgins are meant to be holy. So when you are entering the marriage, you are entering as a holy child. You don't have any.
Okay, so you keep
but 80% of the virgins, 80% of the virgins they have enough experience. They don't even need penetration. They have more than enough experience.
When you get into the marriage, have all the sex you want to have in the world. Knock yourself out.
And if eventually I find out that man is not satisfying me in the marriage, what should I do?
What do you mean by satisfaction? That's where the question now comes.
She wants someone to meet up with that standard that vibrator.
And she will just go back and get the vibrator that satisfied her.
It is not as easy as you make it seem. I mean, I don't mean you should jump from one man to another just to gain experience.
That's how you gain experience.
That is not how you gain experience. You can be with one person.
Can give you all the experience.
You can be with one person and try to learn.
No, you can't be with one person. And the reason why I'm saying this is because relationships, there are a whole lot of emotional responsibility that comes with relationships.
A virgin that uses vibrator, the small ones, and she uses the vibrators.
Why are you saying the small ones? Can't she use the big ones?
No, she doesn't want penetration. So she's using the vibrators.
The one that won't penetrate.
No penetration.
Are there vibrators that don't penetrate? The act itself should be stayed away from before marriage. You know, there's usually this thing about hymen breaking and then we seeing the blood.
There's nothing. Not everybody sees blood.
We don't know that. Guys always think everyone. If you're watching me, please type it in the comment. I want to know. Is it important for you to see blood? Because you know, when you see the blood, there's a confidence it gives you that now me open markets.
Funny enough,
that's just the thing.
You might even see blood and the person is not even a virgin.
Really? Hello everyone, how are you doing? You're welcome to Light Africa Podcasts, and on this place we are giving you conversations that tells you exactly what it is. We're not painting anything, nothing is sugar-coated. We are not hiding anything under the veil. In fact, what we're doing is actually to remove the veil and show you exactly how things are supposed to be. Sometimes you might not agree, sometimes you might agree. I mean, like, we all have our different opinions, right? Yeah. But here we're straightening it out so that you can be able to see exactly what we think, and then you can form your opinion in the comment section. Actually, that's very good from your opinion. All right, so you guys are welcome. My name is Kayon Kennedy, and with me is the beautiful, the delectable, the sumptuous, the ever glowing, smiling.
Thank you.
Let me just add a little bit open teeth to it. Her name is Lois.
Thank you.
How are you doing, Lois?
I'm very well, thank you. How
Obviously. All right, so today we want to talk about something that is always in everybody's mind but never on their lips. For whatever reason it is, it's just never on their lips. All right, so let's just muster some courage and do this topic a justice, right? So today, Lois, we want to talk about sex. Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about oh my goodness. Talking about sex always put people on their feet.
Yeah, on their 10 toes.
I'm telling you, always put people on their 10 toes. And then you realize that this is an activity. Let me say an activity.
Everybody does, obviously. Everybody
that does. People are always on that table. And then nobody wants to talk about it.
Everybody's pretending to be a saint.
I'm telling you, like, first of all, is it even something that we should even go about as in pretending to be a saint about, because see, when we talk about sexual sex education, there's sex education for students in their secondary schools, right? And during that time, we are supposed to teach the teenagers about sex. They should understand the consequence, the activity, the everything that comes with the emotional and all that. But nobody. Why do you think people run away from talking about sex?
I think the mentality that our forefathers, or let me say the elderly ones, have put in our mind that having sex with someone is a bad thing, especially before marriage, is a bad thing. So,
and can you imagine how it is that they think you shouldn't ever have sex before marriage, but they think you should know all about sex immediately the marriage is done. As in, like, nah, juju be that. It can never happen like that. But today, the area we want to look at is sex before marriage. Is it a no-no or a yes? What do you think?
For me, I feel sex before marriage is necessary.
Is necessary.
It's necessary, obviously.
Okay, is there a clause like, okay, in
so that you know what you're getting yourself into? So that not just so that you know what you're getting. That was a joke.
Okay.
But I think sex before marriage doesn't define who you are.
Okay.
People have the mentality that once you are having sex before marriage, you're already a bad child.
Okay.
You are no longer a virgin. You are seeing the world different, especially when you are a woman.
Yeah.
They now see you as a girl that carries or sleep with different men or anything. But it is wrong.
Okay.
Why? Sex before marriage does not define who you are.
Okay, so you're saying sex before marriage is completely allowed. It's okay, we should just go ahead and knock ourselves out.
Obviously, have fun.
Have fun.
Don't go on over have fun, shall Don't go on over have fun.
I don't know what over having fun is, but I think I'll say no sex before marriage, actually.
Why would you say no sex before marriage?
I'll say no sex before marriage, just so that you can, concentrate on other things. It's too much of a distraction. Yeah, I think it's too much of a distraction.
It's a distraction.
And I think it just makes you, second hand, kind of like tokumbo, that kind of a thing. Yeah, because I mean, if you've already had sex before marriage, what else? What are you bringing to the table of the marriage again? I'm bringing
a whole lot. It is not just sex I'm bringing to the table. If sex was the only thing I'm bringing to the table, I would have, if sex was the only thing I was bringing to the table, there are other tables that you can go for.
There are other tables you can go for.
Yes.
Okay, do you know how men brag about the fact that they married their wife a virgin?
Do you know that?
Do you know how much of an egoistic thing it is for a man to marry a wife and call her?
Do you know that I can decide to stay celibate for a whole year and do Kegel exercise, and then the next man that sleeps with me will think I'm a virgin?
That means the hymen will close back. Where will it come from?
Yes, not like it's close
something
back.
That has shattered.
Not like it's close back.
The hymen that has shattered.
Medically, if as a lady,
I don't see that happening medically.
It happens.
Okay, tell
me.
It's
not like the hymen.
Guys need to hear this.
Not like the hymen close back.
This is an update. Tell me. Yeah.
Not like the hymen close back, but that tight feeling.
Yeah.
That is similar to being a virgin is there again.
There's usually this thing about hymen breaking and then we seeing the blood.
There's nothing. Not everybody sees blood.
We don't know that. Guys always think, everyone, if you're watching me, please type it in the comment. I want to know. Is it important for you to see blood? Because you know, when you see the blood, there's a confidence it gives you that now me open markets.
Funny enough,
so that's just the thing.
You might even see blood and the person is not even a virgin.
Really? So people now organize blood.
No.
How does it now happen?
You might even see blood and the person is not even a virgin. Probably maybe from rough sex and trying to enter forcefully or something.
Okay.
It doesn't mean that person is a virgin.
Okay.
People have sex. I've heard of people that have sex and on their first time, there's no blood.
There's no blood.
And it is not a bad thing.
No,
is
no,
not.
no. We're not even
It
saying
is
if it's a bad thing
no,
or
like
not.
no. People at that
Yeah.
point, the guy would feel like, okay, this guy is not a virgin.
Yeah, yeah. That's what
That
he
is
feel
what
like.
he thinks,
This.
because
Yeah,
the idea
the
that has been
idea.
mentally that has been put in our head is that a virgin must always have blood, which is totally wrong.
Is that not? Is that not reality? Because that's what
That it is.
we think.
There's nothing real about that.
Okay, so medically.
Everybody body differs. My body differs from another person. A big girl can see blood, and I might not see blood.
Okay.
It
So
is-
where are we
it's-
going with this thing now?
Where are we going?
So
Where are we going?
we shouldn't expect blood right now. That's what you're
No,
saying.
like you shouldn't be too high of an expectation. If a girl tells you, it's just like telling me a 16 years old. Sorry, 16 is too young. Like an 18-year-old girl is having sex for the first time,
Yeah.
and you don't see blood, and you're like, maybe you just finished school, can you come? Let me see,
Small girl, oh.
exactly, and the girl has not obviously had sex before.
Okay. So what we're basically saying is, for me, I'm like, okay, so don't have sex before marriage. After marriage, then you can knock yourself out and all that.
Have sex
And you
before
think
marriage.
there have to be what's it called, the experience first,
Have-
so that
Have sex before marriage. It doesn't.
a lot of
Honestly,
it
if you
doesn't
define
make you promiscuous.
how does so the man that sleeps with the girl, is he promiscuous or not?
I think on both sides it just makes you
Okay,
promiscuous.
the both
Yeah.
sides. Now, I don't think you sleeping with somebody by Christianity it's
Yeah.
wrong.
According to Christianity.
religiously is wrong. You are not supposed to have sex before marriage. You're supposed to be pure
According
and
to
everything.
the Christians.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
You having sex before marriage, I've seen people that are married to virgins complain about how dull their sex life is.
Okay.
I mean, I don't mean you should jump from one man to another just to gain
Yeah,
experience.
That's how you gain experience.
That is not how you gain
That's how
experience.
you
You can
gain
be with
one
one
person.
person.
Can't give you all the
You
experience.
can be with one person and try to learn.
No,
new
you can't be
things.
with one person. And the reason why I'm saying this is because relationships, there are a whole lot of emotional responsibility that comes to relationships.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, you can have that first sex with one person, and all the emotional thing will make you guys break up, and you need to go to the next person to continue your experience.
If we
That's how
break
it
up, we
works.
break up.
And at the
That means we're never meant to
exactly. That's
We're never
my
meant to
point
be.
exactly. And then at the end of the day, you're having like 40 plus body counts.
Why would I be having 40 plus body count?
Because you need to continue your
At that point,
experience
you are the
of-
problem. You are the
Opo-
problem. No, you are not that. You are not doing that. Probably you are doing that because you want to have a relationship. You have to find who you are. You have to understand who you are. You don't
Okay,
just.
this is just on a journey of trying to have sexual experience and not to have a relationship.
Exactly.
Okay,
If you are
okay,
doing
okay.
that, if you are having 40
I think I
plus,
understand.
if you are having
So-
40 plus body count at, let me say, in a range of 4 to 5 years, you are having 40 plus body count. You are totally wrong. You are not.
But you
You
can't
are
tell
not-
you can't tell anyone who has decided to go on that journey how far they have to go to have their experience. It's very important that people come into the marriage institution with so much purity in their heart. I mean, this is the reason why relationships actually don't last.
What makes you
because
What makes you think that people that come to the relation, that come as a virgin into the marriage are pure?
Okay, so not like they are pure, depends on the context, right? But what I'm saying is that having sexual experiences already before marriage makes it difficult for you to be able to endure having a marriage. Because see, I don't know if you think people are like some
Have you heard of
dolls
dry
or some
humping before?
wood, or hold on, see.
No,
I'm
I'm
telling
trying
you,
to-
you will always be comparing. You remember when you've been eating this delicious food somewhere, something like that, and then one day you go to a particular restaurant and then you eat, you're like, oh, this food is tasteless. It doesn't taste so good. Why do you think you said so?
Because I've tasted it before.
No, because you've had better food before. That's why you could judge
Okay.
that particular food like that.
So now, do you know
So
that?
all these things
do you know that
destroy
people dry hump?
relationships.
Do you know that people dry hump? Do you know what they call dry humping, ba?
Tell us.
Okay, like when a lady, right, just sits on the ground. There's no penetration.
Mm.
She just sits on the guy and then she goes back and forth riding him. There's no penetration. People do that and
Yeah,
they have
yeah.
orgasms. People that do that are mostly virgins.
Okay.
Because they want to claim they don't have any penetration, but it doesn't make them pure.
Yeah, but
It doesn't make them pure.
the purity in the sense of you focusing on one person sexually. That's the purity I'm talking about. Focusing on one person sexually. It doesn't mean like because you are a virgin, then you can be able to. It means you are probably like an angel or something, or Virgin Mary or something like that. No, no, no. I'm just trying to say like it makes you not to be like confused. You understand like the analogy I gave you. You have had better food, and then when you are, this will be like a settling for you when you probably end up with a man who, and especially if you are not with a man who is responsible and all, the ticks all your what's it
My
called,
boxes.
yeah, your boxes, and then it's just on this sexual thing, that's the thing that is not ticking, because comparing it to what you've had, this is just not it at all. And then at the end of the day, you'll be like, oh, let me just settle because of probably the money, the stability, and all that other things. And it's going to make you, in fact, at the end of the day, you're likely to cheat the marriage. Yeah, you're likely to cheat in the marriage because this box is not ticking. There's nothing they're telling you is not ticking.
The only reason why
That's
you would
it.
want the only reason why you would want to cheat in a marriage is because you want to cheat, not because of whatever sex, however or whatever sex you are receiving.
Ah,
It is because you want to cheat.
you see,
Now
because you have
let me explain why.
yeah.
Let me take for instance people that use dildos and vibrators.
Mm-hmm.
You know those things now they have very high frequency.
Yeah.
Now comparing somebody that uses that kind of thing to a man is a very very diabolical something because you can't
Exactly.
compare a man made
To machine.
exactly to machine. So now take for instance a virgin that uses vibrator, the small ones, and she
Yeah.
uses the vibrators.
Why are
If
you
she
saying
gets-
the small ones? Can't
And
she
now-
use the big ones?
No, now she doesn't want penetrations, so she's using the vibrators.
The one
not
that
the-
won't, won't
exactly
penetrate.
no penetration.
Are there vibrators that don't penetrate?
Yes, that's the vibrators.
Okay.
They just vibrate on your body. So now, if that lady marries and that man does not meet up to that machine type of frequency,
Yeah.
at that point, she already has experience outside
Yeah.
the marriage. She's already using
With machines.
exactly. That man can no longer meet up. So there's every tendency that she will still cheat, even while being a virgin, even while being married a
but she will
virgin.
cheat with a vibrator.
No, I mean like she will go out and cheat.
She
Because
didn't
now
have the experience with other humans.
She wants someone to meet up with that standard that vibrator.
And
has
she will
set
just
up.
go back and get the vibrator that satisfied her.
It is not as easy as you make it seem. What if the man says, "Okay, in this house, I do not want to see any any machine used on your body. I don't want to see you use any dildo or anything." And then now you are trying to like, this man does not satisfy my
And
needs.
this is the
I
reason
need
why
to
I
go
said
outside.
no sexual experience at all. No sexual
What makes you
experience
think that virgins
at
don't have
all.
sexual experiences?
How are you a virgin not having special? Okay, so I'm not just saying like being
The
just being a
name
virgin.
virgin is to make you
hold on.
seem like you are holy.
Exactly.
That is what
No.
that is what the name
No,
virgin
hold on.
seems like.
So this
it
is
does
not-
it
this
does
is
not
not just
define
saying-
that you are holy. It makes you feel like you are holy because why?
Seem like you're holy.
Exactly because why? People think that because you are a virgin, there's no penetration and everything. She's a good girl.
But there's no penetration actually.
So it's the
If you're a
penetration that
virgin.
makes you the bad girl.
No, not bad. We're not saying this is not like a distinction between good and bad, right?
It's the penetration that makes you promiscuous. That's
Not
what.
promiscuous. The penetration that makes you not to be a virgin. That's what makes you not to be a virgin because you have been penetrated, right? That's the thing. That's it. So, but what I'm saying actually is not having any sexual experience at all, so that you can actually be, because if you have not had any sexual experience at all apart from the marriage, you are more likely to be satisfied sexually in the marriage than someone who have been exposed to having sexual experiences and body counts and all that.
Why would you feel that way?
I mean, like, how could you say that probably your husband or
Why
something like
would
that
you- why would you
is
feel that
dull
way?
sexually? How could you say that if you don't know what it is like to be more active than what your husband is giving? The reason you can say that is because have a large experience and then you now know the difference between this and that.
the same way the man knows the difference between this and that.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's
There's
why
nothing bad with you with you having sex before marriage. There's nothing bad with it, because the mindset that people have created is that virgins are meant to be holy. So when you are entering the marriage, you are entering as a holy child. You don't have any.
Okay, so you keep
but
saying
80% of the
holy
virgins, 80% of the virgins are. They have enough experience. They don't even need penetration. They have more than enough experience. And most of them, when they enter the marriage, they always have problems. Why are they having problems? That man cannot meet up with whatever they have experienced before.
No,
so now
but
it is
wait,
not
the
just
experience you're talking about, is it like with the machines?
not just with machines. People dry hump. Dry humping is you and a human being.
I understand that. So, but that's not what we will term as experience, right? No.
Anything-
That won't stand for like what we're talking about. We're talking about penetration, and that's what when we say sex. Actually, but that's not. Is that sex? Is it counted as sex?
Anything that makes you have orgasm is sex.
Anything that makes you have orgasm is
Yes,
sex. Penetration
obviously.
or not.
Yes, that's sex, literally.
All right. So now, even sex sexually, but what I'm looking at is having any sexual experience. I don't care if it's drying home, use
would
of
you know-
machines, oral sex. I don't care what it
Pretend.
is.
People pretend. How would
I
you know that
understand.
this person does not have sexual experience? The
We're
fact
not
that-
talking about
the fact-
anybody in particular. We're just saying that the act itself should be stayed away from before marriage. That's what I'm saying.
So if you stay away from,
If you stay away from the act itself before marriage, it helps you to gain more satisfaction sexually in a marriage than having all that experience. Because all that experience just makes you keep rating, measuring, and all that, everything. And it works for both genders, actually. I'm not just saying like the female gender. It works for both gender. Now, you know, there have been a lot of issues about DNA situations where women have given men child that does not belong to them, right? And most times in all these situations, we've realized that the men that actually have the child are their exes. Yeah, we've realized that. So you see, this experience you people want to have, right,
I have
up
a
and
question.
down, is a menace in the society.
what
That's
are-
why I said that you have to stay as a virgin, no sexual experience until you are married.
for you,
That's it.
the ones that entered as virgins and still sleep with
Stop
other-
saying the ones that entered as virgin.
you
Look at
people
the
are-
statistics here. We have so many DNA theft thing going on.
Okay.
Have this child. What? In fact, do you know what I propose? That women should marry early, from like 18. Before 18, you should be married,
Why?
so that you can stay one side, so that you can stand one side, put your body one place.
Are you married?
It does not matter.
Are you
It does
married?
not matter. But so that means by now.
Are you planning on marrying?
By now, I don't know. Yeah, how many people? How many people are coming for you right now? How many people are coming for you right now?
There's nothing like how many people.
That's what I'm saying. I think before 18 years, I'm telling you, at least by 18, you should be married as a woman. Yeah, so that you don't have time to be doing, I want to have sexual experience, and you're having so many exes. When you eventually marry, you will now carry a child from your ex and be given to your husband. I mean, like, it doesn't make sense, right? We need to purify the society. We need people to be sane. We need everyone to come together and just do the right thing. And it's okay. I don't care whether you want to pursue your career, you want to pursue whatever it is that you want to pursue. You can do that while in your husband's house. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you can do that. So, this is how this situation will be solved, truly. That's why I said no sex before marriage. When you get into the marriage, have all the sex you want to have in the world. Knock yourself out.
And if
that's it.
eventually I find out that man is not satisfying me in the marriage, what should I do?
What do you mean by satisfaction? That's where the question now comes
You
in.
get to an orgasm.
What do you mean? Just having an orgasm. You guys can work that out. You can tell her, because you say you know your body and everything like that. So you guys can work out how to get your orgasm. And I'm telling you, what is the percentage of women who actually get orgasm from their partners? What's the percentage?
So I saw
The
a-
percentage of women who get orgasm from their partners is less than maybe like 10 to 15%. It's about 10 to 15%. And all these women are busy. knocking all over the place.
What makes you think so?
Statistics. Statistics show us that Nigeria, especially, is the 10th country that has starts having sex the earliest. That's around 16 years. Nigerians, they are the 10th. They rank the 10th that start having sex very early. The earliest, that's the earliest of all countries. Around 16 years, people start having sex. You know what I'm saying? With all this happening, a lot of they are going in droves having sex. All the women are going in droves having sex, right? Yet you're not achieving orgasm. So you think having all that experience will now help you achieve orgasm? No, orgasm is not the problem. If you have orgasm, you have orgasm. There are some people that will not have orgasm. You came, you didn't come. You come, you didn't came. So it's not the as in like say we shall end the show.
You know why I'm not arguing with you?
Why you not arguing?
This is why I'm not arguing with you.
Tell me.
You guys, I don't know. You have the mindset that virgins are pure. They don't have.
I'm not talking about you. Keep taking this conversation to virgins are pure. I'm not talking about purity.
That's sex before. That's sex after marriage. Now you can't. If
no, it's not. It's not because you want to be pure. It's not to be pure.
Okay, let's remove the pure. Yeah. Virgins are. They don't have experience in sex.
They don't have to have.
That is what you think. The people that enter the marriage and have sex after the marriage don't have experience in sex. Meanwhile, in this generation that we are, almost exactly, even the ones that claim to be virgins, they're having sexual experience on a regular basis.
Yeah.
It is not just because I am a virgin because I'm a virgin I will not have sexual experience. That is bullshit.
I get it. And
you hear of orgy parties. Yeah. People don't want to have penetration because they don't know who they are. Who they're having the orgy parties with, what they have in their body and what kind exactly. But they still have a way in which they have their sexual experiences. They still have their phone. So you telling me that if there's a virgin at an orgy party, there's no how you tell me that she will just stand and watching.
Yes, I understand that. So what I'm actually saying is because we were talking about whether sex is before marriage or not. And I'm telling you that sex after when you're married, right? It helps put the marriage together. It helps you get some level of satisfaction in the marriage and with your partner. That's the thing. Too much experiences, all these experiences just makes you, become unsatisfied and all that. Like you're saying, I'm not having orgasm and all that. See, if you've not had all that experience, you really see, with all the experiences, how many women are even having the orgasm?
What if a man doesn't want to marry?
Doesn't get you
what
to
if
the
a man
point.
doesn't want to marry? Doesn't want to marry a virgin? What should I do then?
No, I'm not saying that's between you and whoever it is that wants to
there are men that
sexualize you
and
all
want
that.
To marry a virgin.
Yeah, I get it, but I'm just trying to say, staying a virgin actually helps make the marriage saner. It helps make the marriage saner. Right? It helps make the marriage. It helps make everybody more satisfied in the relationship in the marriage. That's the thing. All these constantly comparing you to some other person, constantly comparing you to other people. It's as in like it's quite, it makes you unsatisfied, and eventually, at the end of the day, it crashes the marriage. That's what happens. You see what I'm saying? This is actually a one-way street. I know you're trying to come in from the other side of the road, but there is no road where you're coming in from. I'm telling you. And especially if unless you want to go on probably a sex marathon or something like that, and want to, not like a marathon, you want to go on a sex marathon, you just want to have fun and run wild. But we're talking about the context of marriage here. Sexual purity will help you stay satisfied in a marriage rather than having all the experiences in the world that never even give you the satisfaction that you are actually looking for. No, it doesn't.
Why would I have all the sexual experiences in the one that's not in sex that gets the satisfaction?
You will not get it. Statistics. That's what I'm saying. When we talk about the women,
these statistics that are talking about.
Of course, we have to look at the statistics. We have to look at the statistics to get facts.
Google is telling you, not we.
To gain facts.
As a human,
how many women actually get orgasm while having sex? The percentage is too low. for all the people having sex all over the place. The percentage is too low. That is why, with all the experimenting that you're experimenting, it's actually not getting you the orgasm you think you're looking for.
Do not call it experimenting.
Is experimenting. That's what it is. It's I mean, what else are we going to call it? It's experimenting. So now we can see, like our viewers, sex before marriage or sex after marriage. What do you support? I'd like you to type it right in the comments. Let's know what you think. My co-host thinks
sex before marriage is proper.
Like very, very proper. Ideal thing.
It's for whatever proper. Reason. There's nothing bad. There's nothing bad about it.
All right. Before marriage is very proper. And I'm saying it's a no-no. Put yourself clean. You can call a welder to do some iron so that you can padlock that place until you're married. You can give your husband the key so that he can celebrate the entire situation. All right. So, guys, this is where we'll come to the end of our conversation today. I want you to tell me what you think in the comment section. Is it sex before marriage or sex after marriage? Remember to follow us on Light Africa Podcasts on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, on all socials. Just check for us, Light Africa Podcast. Please subscribe, make a comment, like, share, do all those things that help support the page and helps you to be also heard. Make some comments and then we can see what you think along with us. I have been here on Light Africa Podcast. My name remains Kennedy and my host here, Lois. Delectable Lois. All right, so until next time, we'd like to say goodbye and God bless.
God bless. Bye.